All right, what's up, y'all? Hope everyone's doing good. Welcome back here to another update, my friends. We got ourselves a pretty interesting event coming up here for severe weather over the next couple of days here. Welcome, everybody. Good afternoon or good evening to you guys. I hope everyone's doing well. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. It's finally that time again, you guys. We're back in severe weather business here. So they actually added another risk here. We were talking yesterday that today and tomorrow were going to be the only risk days. They did add another risk here for the day after tomorrow. So now Friday we have a risk for severe weather as well. Got a marginal, a slight, and another marginal. What's up, guys? Let's see who we got here today. We have Abby, we have Tabletop, we have Crystal, we have Mark. Let's see here. Weather Tracker, we have Peachy, we have Dave. Let's see here. And, of course, let's see, we have Angelina. Everybody else who is here but just not chatting as well. Welcome, welcome. What's up, Jim? What's up, Hatch? Hope you're doing good. But, yeah, so we do have a pretty active period coming up here. So for today, so this is tomorrow's risk here on the map currently. So if we hop to today's risk, we do have ourselves a marginal, just a level 1 threat today. Nothing really crazy today, to be honest. You know, a couple of severe storms, which a couple tornadoes, you know, can't be ruled out today either. We'll have to look out there for that. We'll get into that here in a second. But yeah, we do have a risk today for severe weather out there for the Dallas-Fort Worth area, including areas like Austin, Waco, Abilene, San Angelo. We have a marginal level 1 threat here overall. Now, the breakdown for today. Now, we do have a breakdown for tomorrow, too, which we'll get into that here in a second. But for today, we do have a tornado threat down towards the Austin area, towards Rock Springs, Fredericksburg, let's see here, Caryville, Killeen, Temple, and Waco, Texas. Now, this is not, these areas are not obviously guaranteed to get a tornado, obviously. It just means that a couple of isolated tornadoes in the general area is possible for today, as the conditions are right for tornadic development. So there is a possibility we could get a couple of tornadoes today out here kind of towards the south central side of Texas. Once again, towards the Austin, Waco, Texas area here. There is a possibility for a couple of tornadoes. It's just a 2% chance, relatively low-end tornado threat for today. That does change for tomorrow, though. But today we do have a 2% chance for tornadoes. You know, relatively low. Just look out for a couple of brief tornadoes being possible. What's up, Yankee? What's up, Jim? Let's see. What's up, Sarah? Is that how you say your name, Sarah? What's up, Ohio? What's up, Patty? Hope you're doing good. Welcome, everybody. So then, of course, moving over to damaging winds and stuff like that here, too. We do have that risk extending into, like, the Dallas-Fort Worth area here. So, you know, the storms today are going to be capable of producing some damaging wind gusts, perhaps, you know, possibly up to right around 60 miles an hour or so as the storms do fire off late. We're actually looking at the HRRR here. Let's go ahead and actually fast forward this in time here. So, you know, there is going to be a bunch of showers kind of going on for the next several hours and whatnot. You know, maybe a few rumbles of thunder, but it's not really until late that we really get things popping off. This is for midnight at this particular frame. And you can see that we do kind of have this somewhat of a line of storms that extends through central Texas here, you know, through the Dallas-Fort Worth area here overall, in which, yeah, a couple of those cells could be severe. Now, the damaging wind threat that's overlaid here, like we mentioned, could be capable of producing some of those wind gusts up to right around 60 miles an hour. So, you know, we're talking some gusty winds. Doesn't sound like a lot, but 60-mile-an-hour winds can be damaging and can be concerning and, you know, can definitely, you know, cause problems and destroy property. And then, of course, lastly, we do actually have a hail threat. Now, believe it or not, today, anyways, that is going to be the main threat, is today for hail. And you can actually see the hail threat extends to the whole entire marginal risk. So here's our marginal level 1 threat for today, and our hail threat covers the entire marginal risk. And then, of course, the wind threat is a little bit smaller, and then the tornado threat's even smaller. So, yeah, the main threat's actually going to be hail today. A little bit of hail, ranging between 1 to 2 inches in diameter is kind of what we're looking at here. Then, of course, now, moving into tomorrow, being Thursday. So, yeah, Thursday actually is going to be a little bit more of an active day. So, for tomorrow's threat, this includes portions of Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and a little bit of Oklahoma in the active severe weather risk here for tomorrow. Now, the thing about tomorrow is that we do have a level 2 threat as well. You guys see that yellow there? That is a slight risk. That is a level 2 severe weather threat. The scale goes to 5. Level 2 is a decent risk here overall, so it is a decent risk for some severe weather. So if you guys are across the yellow, just make sure you are definitely weather aware tomorrow. Same thing even for the green area here, which is the marginal. Just make sure that you guys are actively weather aware and that you guys are watching this here. But yeah, the greatest threat tomorrow for severe weather is going to be across like eastern Texas, places out there towards central Louisiana, a little bit of southwestern Mississippi here overall with that level 2 threat. Now here's the thing. Tomorrow, we actually have a 5% chance for tornadoes. So tomorrow is actually hosting a fairly decent tornadic potential. And you can see the overall risk for tornadoes actually covers a pretty good chunk of land. I mean, you can see here the dark green, this is the level 1 tornado threat, which a couple of isolated tornadoes are possible in the green area. So, a couple tornadoes here and there are possible in the green. But once you work your way into the brown, the 5%, that's where it becomes a little bit more possible, a little bit more, I wouldn't say likely, but it is a little bit more possible to see more tornadic activity overall. And that's kind of where the greatest potential where tornadoes are going to be tomorrow. So the main threat for tornadoes tomorrow is going to be in eastern Texas, portions of Louisiana, and southwestern Mississippi. That's where the main tornado threat is going to be. Let's see. Hatch says knock out power and also knock down trees. Yeah, the winds. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, damaging winds. I mean, obviously tornadoes could do that too, of course. But yeah, that is something that we need to look out for. Is between the damaging winds and the tornadoes, and even hail actually is a concern. Now, the wind threat. We do have a 15% chance here for damaging winds tomorrow. Once again, tomorrow is going to be the big day. Tomorrow is going to be the main day for severe weather. We'll be live tomorrow for sure to cover at least a little bit of this here with you guys. I'm still recovering from my sickness here. I've been sick for the last 5 days. It's just been brutal. But yeah, we'll be live tomorrow for sure to cover this with you guys. But yeah, so tomorrow, with that slight risk, we do have a 15% chance here for damaging winds, in which, kind of same thing applies today as tomorrow. Those wind gusts are going to be ranging right around 60, maybe upwards of 65 mile per hour wind gusts, in terms of what the storms could maximally output in terms of winds. Remember, a wind gust is usually short-lived, only a couple of seconds of a burst of wind, in which it could read up to about 60, 65 or so, which, like I said, is enough to cause problems. As we mentioned, power outages could be a problem, as well as, obviously other issues. I mean, so power outages, trees and stuff like that coming down, it could all be an issue. So we'll have to look out there for that. But yeah, the main threat is going to be here in the yellow regarding damaging winds as well, which is the slight risk, which is that level 2 severe weather threat. And then lastly, in terms of hail, we do have just a pretty big 5% risk here for hail. So hail will be a problem tomorrow as well. We will definitely need to keep an eye out there for that. And once again, hail tomorrow as well is going to be ranging between 1 to 2 inches in diameter, which, it could be pretty large hail, but those monster hailstones, we're not really expecting any of that today. Thankfully, we don't have any hatch risks regarding hail or really anything, thankfully. But yeah, no, it is a triple threat, though. So, yeah, once again, we do have the 5% tornado risk here across the brown throughout Louisiana, portions of Texas, and a little bit of Mississippi. The overall tornado threat extending all the way up towards central Arkansas. Anywhere in the dark green here and the brown, you guys are at risk for a couple of tornadoes tomorrow. In terms of damaging winds, there's our overall active threat. Here's the 15% main threat overall. And, of course, the hail threat here, we just have that large 5% chance. Now, like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, guys, they actually added a risk for Friday. It's not anything super crazy from what it looks like, but, from whatever remaining amount of instability and fuel we have left in the atmosphere, there could be some more severe weather that could kick off on Friday across the panhandle of Florida, possibly areas like southern Alabama and southwestern Georgia. We could get a little bit of severe thunderstorm activity here as well for Friday. Now, as of now, the Storm Prediction Center does not have a breakdown for the tornadoes and the damaging winds and hail. There is no probability based off of that right now because the Storm Prediction Center only does percentage based outlooks only for the first 2 days. So, for example, today and tomorrow, we have the breakdown of probability. But for Friday, since it's 3 days away, 3 days from now, basically, it is not available right now. But it is a marginal, it is a level 1 severe weather threat for Friday, relatively a lower end threat for severe weather. But remember, the scale means potential for damaging severe weather, in which even a level 1 can be problematic. So don't brush off a level 1 threat. It's still a risk for severe weather, okay? So, yeah, Friday we'll keep an eye on it. Florida Panhandle, southwest Georgia, southern Alabama. But, yeah, by far, like we mentioned, the main threat here is going to be for tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to have, the biggest threat. It's where we're going to have the best mixing ratio between our strong wind shear and our whatever amount of instability we have. Because, like I mentioned yesterday, this system, this setup, is what we call a high shear, low cape environment. So high shear meaning strong winds. Our jet stream is ripping. It's a fast-moving jet stream. We have really, really strong flow in our atmosphere, which is good to get those storms organized. Instability meaning the fuel for those storms. If you don't have any fuel, your storms aren't going to spark off. But we have a relatively low amount of fuel in the atmosphere regarding this system, which is a good thing. And since it's, that's actually honestly being one of the main limiting factors with this storm system is the fact that there's not a whole lot of instability, but there's enough. And that's what matters, is that there is enough to cause severe weather. So we definitely do need to look out there for that overall. Anyways, Maddox, get out of here. We don't need you anyways. I'm just here to help out. Seriously. There's nothing that's clickbait about this. I mean, this is straight from the SPC, man. So get out of here, unsubscribe. Honestly, we don't need you here anyways. But yeah, so like I mentioned, level 2 threat for tomorrow. We'll definitely be looking out there for that. All right, y'all, let's hop over here to the models. We are going to go ahead and take a look here. So like I mentioned, we're going to really kind of get a lot of this activity kicking off here for tonight overall. Whenever it comes to it, we're definitely going to keep you guys updated. I don't know. It depends on how it performs tonight. We may or may not do coverage tonight. I don't think we will. Tomorrow we will for sure. We'll definitely go live for you guys tomorrow for sure. But whenever it comes to it, tonight, we're going to get those storms really firing off here, later on this evening here in general. As you can kind of see, over the next couple of hours here, according to NAM and whatnot, we'll actually hop the HRRR here. Over the next couple of hours here, we're going to be seeing, a couple of, showers and storms that will be going on here, in which, eventually will gradually turn into more storms, later on, perhaps even turning into severe weather like we're expecting here. So we're definitely gonna look out there for that. Let's actually hop back to the 18 Zulu here. So, so this is right around midnight. This is 1 a.m. Eastern, which would be midnight Central Time here. So for you folks, and you can see a couple storms firing off around this point in time. Then we work our way down in time here. You can see as we approach our way right around, this is pretty much tomorrow afternoon here. Tomorrow afternoon, you can kind of see that line that develops as we do have a low that strengthens, an area of low pressure that strengthens over the southern plains, which in terms pulls up a lot of moisture from the Gulf, supplying this system with the fuel and the moisture that is needed for those storms. In which, we're going to get all that activity kicking off. That long line of storms, fires off here. Once again, tomorrow is going to be the main threat overall. Tomorrow is going to be, the main threat in general. So we'll definitely look out there for that. And it seems like regarding the HRRR, take this with a grain of salt. This is one model in particular. But according to this model here, we are going to see probably some of the heaviest of the activity here for tomorrow evening from what it looks like here overall. So that is that. So tomorrow evening is going to be, when we're going to be seeing some of the heaviest of the activity here. So, which then will unfortunately go into the night hours, which, could be partially a nocturnal threat for severe weather tomorrow. Once again, we'll go live tomorrow too. We'll make sure to cover this with you guys. That way you guys can, stay weather aware. That way we can help keep you guys updated with the warnings and stuff like that comes through. Because, that's top priority, is to make sure you guys are safe, that you guys are staying weather aware. That is what we care about here, is we want to make sure that you guys are up to date and everything. So, once again, everybody, if you guys have any questions, feel free to let us know here. I mean, once again, if y'all have any questions, feel free to throw them down the chat. I'll be more than happy to help you guys. But yeah, just remember, all hazards are on the table here regarding this event here. Here, we're going to go ahead and hop on over here to Pivotal here. Pivotal's pretty good for, or at least I have more kind of spread with this page here. I can actually kind of look at more models and stuff. Here's Euro. Looking at the instability here, the fuel in the atmosphere. Yeah, Euro actually suggests, it's still not a whole lot of instability, but it's enough to get some storms really going here potentially. You can see all that advection, basically all of that warm air and all that moisture coming up from the Gulf, in which rolls its way into the to the southern plains, and then the cold front comes through. That low shoots off to the northeast, which kind of drags everything eastward in general. But yeah, like we mentioned here, as we approach our way into tomorrow, from what it looks like from a lot of the models, there's not a lot of instability. But there could be pockets, of instability in which, could, obviously interact with the wind shear, the strong winds that we do have in the atmosphere overall, which, yeah, could really allow for some nasty severe weather activity to occur in general. Is there any chance for tornadoes today? Yes. So we do have a 2% chance here. Let's go ahead and hop you over here real quickly. We do have a 2% chance for tornadoes today across central Texas, which includes Waco, Killeen, Austin, Rock Springs. So that does not mean those areas will get a tornado, of course. It just means that those areas are in the risk area, which is basically just saying that, yeah, these areas here are capable of producing, or these areas are in the atmosphere in which the atmosphere is capable of producing tornadic activity. So a tornado or two is possible today, yes, in which would likely remain weak and brief, due to some limitations and all. But yeah, we definitely could have a couple of tornadoes today. But tomorrow is where the big day is going to be. Like I said, that big 5% risk that we do have regarding tornadoes. We could have, a couple of tornadoes, possibly even several tornadoes tomorrow, given the conditions that we are in tomorrow regarding this system here. I mean, like we mentioned, the overall risk area here is actually quite large. We actually have a pretty big area here where a couple of tornadoes, could occur. And of course, once again, that maximum threat being right in here in the brown. That's that level 2 threat. And then, of course, we have our level 1 tornado threat here across the green. But yeah, the level 2 is across the brown here. So we'll definitely be here to, like I said, we'll definitely be here to keep you guys updated with everything. Once again, we'll be live tomorrow to cover this. I'm not sure what time we're going to be going live here tomorrow for coverage or whatnot, but I'll definitely be here to help out, of course. Let's see here. But anyways, what's up, Liam? Hope you're doing good. Welcome. See here, Anna says Houston here. It is 72 degrees. That's pretty nice. It's actually really nice here in Florida today. It's actually been pretty cold lately. Yeah, even in Florida, it's been pretty darn chilly. I mean, we've been in the 40s a lot lately, and so yeah, today's actually a nice warmer day for sure. And actually, the reason and that it is warmer today is because of the fact that we do have all of that moisture and all of that warmer air coming in, starting this severe weather event here. All that advection, all of that warm moisture pull from the Gulf rolling its way in here. So, yeah, that's partially why, for sure. And but that probably won't last too long until that storm kind of rolls through here. That should kind of here. Let's go ahead and bring you guys over here. Actually, I'll bring this over here. Why not? But yeah, honestly, it probably won't last for super long, to be honest. Yeah, honestly, I think February is going to be another really interesting month, to be honest with y'all. Yeah, January was actually pretty crazy this month, regarding snow and everything for a lot of people. Yeah, because we're gonna get a lot of that cooler air coming down on the back side of the storm system here. You can see that cooler air pulling down. Yeah, that's how these systems work. If you guys didn't know, you can see our low pressure up here towards Missouri at this point. This is for the morning of the 31st, in which basically you have all of the warm air and all the moisture advection ahead of the cold front, which the cold front's kind of hard to make out, but it's right in here. And you have all of that moisture, all of that warmth that pulls ahead of the cold front. And then behind it, you got that cooler air that comes down from up north, which you can see is actually lowering those temperatures across the way. So, while it might be pretty nice right now across some of the areas in the south here, it'll definitely get, it'll definitely be relatively short lasting. It won't be too long lasting here in general. But yeah, no, definitely, you guys are going to be in for quite some, quite some warm conditions here overall. Let's see here. Polly says it's raining here in Granbury, Texas. Gotcha. Yeah, here, let's actually pull up radar. We're going to take a look at the radar out here, see what's going on right now. Something we have not done yet. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, we've only looked at the future stuff. Let's pull up current radar. See where we're at right now with the storm. Yeah, it looks like a bunch of showers and stuff going on right now. Nothing super crazy going off right now. Yeah, models didn't really suggest everything really popping off, at least for today's event, until like super late. But yeah, no, we do have a couple of showers, popping off across, Texas right now. But yeah, later on today, those are gonna start to turn more to more of thunderstorms and whatnot. What a year for the South. Yeah, it's been pretty crazy, man, I tell you. Yeah, especially out there by with that latest snowstorm we just had for like New Orleans and whatnot. It's crazy, man. Feel so good outside. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, enjoy it while it lasts, though. Like I mentioned, it's going to be relatively short-lived. It's not going to be that long-lived overall. So, for sure. It's almost 60 here. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Let's see. A and B says, do I think there'll be an enhanced risk for tomorrow? Honestly, I would personally say no. I mean, I can't be for sure. It could, SPC could decide to pull it. The reason I don't think we will is because of the limitation of instability. The fact that we do not have a lot of instability in the atmosphere, which I think is going to kind of prevent that from occurring. Because if we take a look at the HRRR here, this is the 18 Zulu run. As we approach tomorrow evening, partially at some of the heaviest of the event here, that's where we have the slight risk and whatnot. HRRR suggests the amount of instability being within the range of around less than 500 joules per kilogram, which, if you know, that's a very low amount of instability. Is it enough for severe weather? Yes, but it's pretty low. And I really think that the instability is going to be lacking, or I should really say putting a cap on how much these storms can do. Now, if we use like RAP, which RAP, shows the same thing. RAP, by the way, is a different model. But yeah, RAP is kind of showing the same thing, 250 to 500 joules per kilogram, and, some of the spots out here tomorrow evening. kind of seems possible. However, we do have a really strong lower level jet, though, to kind of make up for that. You guys can see the jet stream, about 4,000 feet up or so, 850 millibar height, is going to be between 50 and 60 knots, which that's about, 65-ish miles an hour or so. Can't convert it right off the top of my head, but something around that, which, knots are lower than miles an hour. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty fast moving jet stream. Lower level jets actually fairly rolling, you could say. But yeah, really the limitation here is going to be that instability. So do I think they'll have it enhanced tomorrow? I don't think so. I think it's going to stay slight, personally. Now, in terms of moisture advection, we do have a lot of moisture that's involved here. Whenever that winter storm watch goes away, we need to fix that location thing going off the side. I tried contacting the dude. He's not. Anyways, but yeah, the moisture here, and whatnot is, really pretty handy. Or handy's not the word. Pretty decent, I should say. In which, yeah, we do have a fair amount of moisture that is available here. Upper 60 dew points. That's actually fairly good. That's fairly suitable for severe weather. That's indicating a fair amount of moisture, water vapor and overall heat being absorbed into these storms here, which that's going to be pretty beneficial for those storms there. I mean, everything's there, moisture, kinematics in terms of our strong jet stream and our, our fast-moving air. But yeah, really the main lacking factor here is going to be that the amount of instability that's in the atmosphere here. If we had a lot more instability in this event, it could go a lot further. But let's see here. Will Dallas Carrollton get hit by a tornado today? Very unlikely. Let's see. You said Dallas. Oh, yeah, definitely not Dallas. Dallas is actually not in the risk today for tornadoes, per se. We do have the potential for severe weather towards Dallas today. But, yeah, no, Dallas is not going to get tornadic activity today. We do have a potential for some gusty winds with some of the storms out there. Hail, a little bit of hail ranging 1 to 2 inches in diameter can't be ruled out. Relatively low in threat, too. Today's tornado threat is south of Dallas here. Now, you can kind of see this is more for areas near like Waco, Austin, Texas, where that tornado threat, exists for today. Tomorrow, like we mentioned, tomorrow we have that fairly decent-sized tornado risk out there. We do have... like I said, a decent 5% level 2 tornado threat out there tomorrow for eastern Texas. Really good chunk of Louisiana and southwestern Mississippi. A fairly decent threat overall. So that is that for sure. For sure. Let's see here. But yeah, Molly, I wouldn't worry about it. Really, Dallas is not expecting any tornadoes today. Let's see. Carrie says, so am I correct? It's supposed to rain Thursday and Friday. Carrie, I'll pull it up. I'll pull up your location real quickly. Let me pull this up. Up in Iowa. Gotcha. Yeah, so you're not a part of this event, really, regarding what we're forecasting right now. What I can do for you is I can show you the models here. Here, hold on, y'all. We'll get back to the forecast and severe weather here in a second. So, yeah, I mean, Iowa could see some rain and whatnot from that low that kind of kicks up across the way. Yeah, it looks like that low might pivot over like Kansas City area. Look at that. For no, not tomorrow. Day after tomorrow. That would be Friday morning. But yeah, there could be a little bit of rain. It seems quite possible. Yeah, between tomorrow and into the 31st. Just a little bit. Probably not a lot, though. Anyways. All right, let's hop back here, you guys. But yeah. So for the people who is just joining, once again, we have 3 different days of severe weather overall. We have a threat today, we have a threat tomorrow, and Friday. So today's threat, once again, we have a level 1 here. Actually, well, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the SPC page real quickly. Go ahead and bring this over here to you all. Also, I'm going to lower the brightness on my camera. I'm like super bright here right now. There we go. Is that... That's like really dark. There we go. There we go. That's a little bit better. Anyways, so yeah, today's threat, we have that level 1 threat. The level 1 marginal risk here for today, which, you know, once again, all hazards is on the table today. You know, a couple of isolated tornadoes are possible here in the 2% chance. Once again, this is kind of for the Waco, Killeen, Texas area, Temple, Texas, Cedar Park. Doesn't mean those areas will see a tornado once again. It just means that the environment is capable of producing tornadoes in those general area or in those general regions. So yeah, a couple, you know, a tornado or 2 possible today. Damaging winds, 5% chance. You know, Dallas Fort Worth area here could get some gusty winds possibly. Those winds were going to be ranging between 60, 65-ish miles an hour in terms of maximum wind gusts. So, you know, still is enough to cause, you know, some power outages and some tree limbs and some trees to come down. So be cautious of that. And of course, hail threat. Yeah, hail is actually our main concern today, covering the whole risk area here. You know, Dallas Fort Worth area, Arlington, Plano, Garland, Texas. You guys are, you know, you guys are in the risk area there. So hail today is going to be ranging between like 1 to 2 inches in diameter here overall. So that's that. That's that. But yeah, tomorrow though, once again, yeah, tomorrow's the big day. Tomorrow we are going to be live for sure. So yeah, tornado risk here. You can see, I mean, we have a pretty good chunk of land, like we mentioned here, regarding where we could see tornadoes and stuff tomorrow. So we'll have to look out there for that. So if you're in the green, 2% chance, it's a relatively low chance for tornadoes, but just be aware, keep it on the radar, keep it on the weather tomorrow if you're in any of these shades here, because a couple of tornadoes can't be ruled out. Now, the greatest probability, 5% chance, is in the brown here. The greatest chances in the areas here, which is eastern Texas, you know, cutting through Louisiana and southwestern Mississippi. So that's tomorrow's greatest threat for tornadoes and stuff like that. Damaging winds also 15% chance, you know, kind of the same scale as we're talking today as tomorrow. Nothing is hatched, which is good. There is no hatch risk, which what that means is, you know, there is no significant risks regarding winds, you know, 60 plus. Or I should really say 70 plus, nothing 70 plus, no hail 2 inches or greater, and, you know, no tornadoes expected EF2 or greater. You know, that's what a hatch risk would indicate. But we do not have a hatch risk, thankfully, for this event as of now. Knock on wood, hopefully we don't grab that, but yeah, so we do have a 15% chance for that, in which, you know, damaging wind gusts, once again, between, you know, 60 miles an hour, right around 60 miles an hour. So overall could be possible. And of course, hail, 5% chance. Carrie says, let's see, Andrew, you're always appreciated. Thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate it. See, thanks for hopping on even though you're sick, man. No problem, dude. I'm glad to be here. Glad to help out. Anytime. Yeah, I did want to go live here because you know, I wanted to make sure you guys were aware of what's going on here, and that way you guys could you know, prep for it, and that you guys could stay updated with it. Hoping this spring will be nice and calm. Yeah, I agree. That'll be pretty nice. Yeah, last spring was actually pretty crazy. Yeah, it was April was pretty bad. Am I feeling better? Yeah, I'm actually feeling a lot better so far. I'm still not 100%, but I'm getting there. I'm hoping tomorrow I'll be fully back to normal. I've been sick about 4 or 5 days or so at this point, which it's been a rough road. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, but you guys are welcome. No problem. Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate that. And then, of course, like we mentioned, yeah, going into Friday there too, guys, we do have a marginal level 1 threat too for like South Alabama, southwestern Georgia, and like the panhandle of Florida and whatnot. You know, we are talking also the potential for a little bit of severe weather, which we do not have a breakdown for right now, Friday. So Friday, as of now, we don't have a breakdown. Okay, yeah, I mean, I could do a couple zip codes for you guys, I guess. Silent wants me to look at a zip code, so let's do this real quick. Hey, man, honestly, if it helps you guys stay weather aware, that's all that matters here. All right, so yeah, you're actually in kind of the middle of the threat, actually. Silent, you're in that 5% tornado risk tomorrow, 15% chance for damaging wind gusts, and 5% chance for hail. So tornadoes, 5% chance. It's still very unlikely that you're going to get a tornado. It's still very unlikely. But, you do need to be monitoring the weather because there could be some tornadoes nearby. So keep that in mind. A couple of tornadoes can occur nearby. So keep an eye out there for that. Damaging wind gusts, possibly upwards of like 60 miles an hour or so could be possible tomorrow. With the damaging winds, could cause problems, power lines, and trees and stuff like that could come down. Then of course hail, between 1 and 2 inches in diameter. Hail is going to be for tomorrow. Oh, actually, one thing I forgot to mention to you guys. I'm glad I just remembered this. The rainfall outlook tomorrow. You know what? Tomorrow we actually have a really decent shot at flooding as well. So this is our day 2, which is tomorrow. This is tomorrow's flash flooding outlook, basically. So we have a level that goes from 1 to 4. A level 1 is green, a level 2 is yellow, a level 3 is red, and a level 4 is pink. So when it comes to it, we have a level 2 tomorrow, which is still a middle threat. That is a decent threat for flooding, okay? So the area is in yellow here. If you guys are prone to flooding, which this includes portions of like Kentucky, western Tennessee, Arkansas, northeast Texas, and like southeastern Missouri, you guys are included in this. If you're in an area that's prone to flooding, prep for that, okay? Make sure that you're prepared because, yeah, flooding, there's going to be a decent amount of rain out here. If I play this down in time, you can see all that rain that kind of rolls through over the next day or so. Yeah, so definitely prep for that because there is going to be a fair amount of rain, which ultimately could lead to some flooding. So keep an eye out there for that. Let's see here. Darian, thank you. Appreciate it. What's up, Janice? Saying, hi, Andrew. Be safe and feel better. Thank you. I appreciate that. Do I think that the Cape is holding back the most from its peak? Do you mean, like, do I think that the convective available potential, that's what CAPE stands for the people who don't know, convective available potential energy, that's just to fuel the instability in the atmosphere. Do I think that the CAPE is holding it back? So, okay. So do I think that the reason that the CAPE is so low that it's just holding back for this whole system? Yes, it really is, because we have really strong wind shear with this storm system, and we have a good amount of moisture. There's a good amount of moisture advection. We have... we're actually going to bring back up the models here real quickly again. Here. I'm going to probably have to... Oh, it's over here. Okay. Cool. So, yeah, I mean, dew points are in, like, the mid-upper 60s tomorrow. So there is a great amount of moisture supply here. That strong northerly advection from the Gulf of Mexico. A lot of, moisture rolling its way up north here. Really pulling to the north. Bringing our... our moisture and whatnot, and contributing to the instability in the atmosphere. So we do have that, and of course on top of that we do have the really, really strong jet stream. Our kinematics are pretty aggressive tomorrow. So our lower level jet here, 850 millibar height equivalent, which is about 4,000 or 5,000 feet, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but around that height is kind of what we're looking at here, which a lower level jet, the lower level flow in the atmosphere is very important for tornadoes. We have it. The jet stream is actually pretty strong. Actually very strong tomorrow. Now, so we have the kinematics. We have the strong wind shear. The jet stream is very strong, and we have the moisture. The only thing that's really pulling back from maximum performance is the instability, in which, like we mentioned, a lot of the models here are kind of suggesting that around the time of this here, we're talking like the late portion of tomorrow, a relatively lower amount of instability. Not a lot. Relatively between 250 to 500 joules per kilogram, which that's fairly low. That's fairly weak. In which, that is going to limit how potent these storms can become. But you got to remember, models, for one, are not perfect. Models don't always truly represent what the atmosphere actually does. That is one thing I do want to point out. Another thing is that there could be pockets of higher instability. For example, a portion of the atmosphere could have more instability than another. And if those ingredients are there and in place, which models can't pick up on, for example, we have really strong winds and we have, instability that's fairly, higher, I should say, with one of those pockets, it could allow for more stronger stuff to occur. But, that's if. Why is the Cape so low? That's just how the system is set up. Some systems have a fair amount of instability and whatnot. It's, let me look at the lapse rates, actually. That's, let's see, does this program even have lapse rates? Mid-level lapse rates here. Yeah, that's actually a part of it, is that our lapse rates are so low. So basically how much the temperature drops over elevation. So the more that the temperature drops as you go up in the upper atmosphere, the more it drops, the more buoyant or more unstable the atmosphere is. Lapse rates of about 6 degrees Celsius is pretty weak. The reason that we don't have much instability is because of the fact that the atmosphere's temperatures don't drop off as fast as, say an environment that did have a lot of instability. Does that make any sense? I hope I'm making sense for people. Sometimes I'm not the best teacher. I'm not going to lie. But I hope that makes sense. The steeper your lapse rates are, meaning that the more aggressive that the temperature drops as you go up in elevation, kind of shows you how much instability could be in the atmosphere at that point in time here. So hopefully that helps. But yeah, lapse rates have a lot to do with it. And our mid-level lapse rates are pretty weak. Same as our lower level lapse rates are pretty weak as well. Let's see here. You can kind of see here, which is interesting, is that some of our heaviest, so this is for like tomorrow afternoon, 21 Zulu tomorrow. So yeah, actually this is tomorrow, or this time tomorrow, pretty much overall. Some of our heaviest amounts of instability is in like eastern Louisiana here, which is really not a lot. But that's actually where our heaviest of our lower level lapse rates is kind of at too. Kind of overlaps that. That's a lot to do with it. Taylor says, what can I expect for Rosebud, Texas, east of Temple? Sorry, just joined. You're good. You're good. Let me turn this off real quickly. So, for Rosebud, I've heard of Rosebud before. Rosebud, Texas. Here we go. So, okay, so today, I don't think you're in the risk tomorrow, are you? No, you are. Okay. So, yeah, between today and tomorrow, you do have a marginal risk here, a level 1 threat. You do have a 2% chance for tornadoes tonight. There is a 2% chance for tornadoes, so, an isolated tornado or two cannot be ruled out. It is very unlikely that you'll get a tornado. I mean, being realistic, more than likely you're not going to have a tornado. But it's still good to be precautious. It's still good to keep an eye on it because, you never know fully. We don't know exactly where these tornado tracks are going to be. If they did happen, obviously, if we knew where a tornado was going to touch down, we would just warn those areas in the path. But since we know that the atmosphere is going to be capable of producing tornadoes, but not necessarily where they're going to be, we give a risk area. And you're in that risk area, meaning that there could be some tornadoes in the general region. But once again, 2% chance, it's a fairly low-end threat. It is possible. We do have a 5% chance for damaging winds as well. So some of those gusts on those storms, so some of those wind gusts could be upwards of around 60 miles an hour. So we could have some gusty winds, some strong winds on the line of storms that does roll through. And then, of course, lastly, we do have a 5% chance for hail as well. Hail is going to be ranging 1 to maybe 2 inches in diameter, which, it could be decent in terms of hail. So look out for hail as it is possible as well. But, so yeah, definitely keep an eye out there for that. Timing-wise, it looks like it's going to really kind of develop here tomorrow morning. This is kind of showing around 9 a.m. Central time. Take this with a grain of salt. 1, this is one model. 2, this is a one model run too. So don't take it too serious. But it's sometime later morning tomorrow. It kind of shows that line kind of rolling through. But the good news and the glory of cold fronts is the fact that it's kind of like a one-hit and done type of situation most of the time, if there is no prefrontals. What I mean by that is that if there is no like crazy storms that happen ahead of the cold front, usually it's just one round of storms. And from the way it looks here, I mean, for the area you're in, it's kind of developing slightly to your west. There could be more than one storm, but once that line of storms rolls through, and this applies for everybody, once the main line rolls through, there's no more going to happen after it because, the instability completely gets cut off, the atmosphere stabilizes, and cooler air infiltrates. Anyways, hopefully that makes sense. But anyways, folks, well, if y'all have any questions before I roll off here, feel free to let me know. We've been live about 45. Once again, I'm still kind of sick here, so I'm still not trying to overdo myself right now. But we will be live tomorrow for sure for coverage. I may even go live again tonight. I was thinking about that earlier. I might do another stream might do another stream tonight for an update. That way if we have a new SPC, or which we will, that way when the new SPC Outlook comes out and stuff like that, the Storm Prediction Center Outlook, we'll be able to update you guys again tonight. So we'll be live again tonight more than likely. Okay? But going once, if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate. If you're new to the channel, consider leaving a like, hitting that subscribe button. Be greatly appreciated. Once again, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And once again, I thank everybody for being here. But no problem, Taylor. Anytime. But you guys stay safe out there. Once again, we'll keep you guys posted. We'll make sure you guys are updated. I don't think we're gonna need coverage tonight. Unless tonight really starts magically popping off like crazy. Then yeah, we'll go live, of course. I mean, I'll be on standby. But I don't believe it's going to need coverage tonight. Tomorrow, I think we'll need coverage because we do have that 5% tornado risk, that 15%, threat out there for, damaging winds and a 5% chance. John, thanks for subscribing, man. I appreciate it. So yeah, with all that being said, I think we're gonna need to be live and stuff tomorrow. But all right, everybody, thanks for joining. You guys take care. Have a great rest of your day. Once again, we'll go live at some point. I'm not sure when, but at some point tonight, we'll make sure to give you guys another update before I go to bed and whatnot. But all right, everybody, thank you so much for joining. You guys take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll catch y'all in the next one. Be safe out there. See you later on, guys.